There we go. Okay. I guess that's that. So, I was feeling a bit in a streamy mood. We're back to streaming. And yeah, we're gonna be playing Celeste Permadeath tonight. And that's what we're gonna be doing. I don't know, I feel in a rather reflective mood lately, you know. Feeling very, very artsy, you could say, you know. Not that I do art or anything, right? I didn't really do much today, except, like... Wait, I look even smaller in this window. Yeah. Alright. You know, it's just that, it's not like I did much today. I played a bunch of Necrodancer. That's kind of it. Yeah, that's kind of it. I really didn't do anything today. Which is a bit sad. It's not like I have got nothing to do. But sometimes you need such days. Alright. Now, where did we leave last time? Just kidding. I know obviously we're starting from the beginning. Alright, now where is Celeste? Wait. So you are supposedly the Binding of Isaac, so I'll make you... Alright, yep, that's why that works. Perfect. That's the wrong save file. Alright, let's get right into it. Let's just start grinding. Not much of a point in delaying these matters. It's not like we're gonna be lacking prologue or something. Now, I'm a little bit confused about how zoomed in this shit is. Yeah, wait, I'll need to fix that. I don't know why it's like that. But fixes itself. Wait, I should probably open the chat. Not like there's anyone in here, but, you know. I should probably have it open in case someone does pop in. Does soda popinski, you know? I haven't been streaming much lately. And, I don't know. I was gonna say I don't intend to. I don't know why why my brain was going there. Like, I don't have any plans for my future live streaming online content creation endeavors. I guess the only thing I have close to that is the fact that I kinda just a little bit want to make informative videos about society. Not about society, but the world we live in. Economics is truly an interesting field that people severely misunderstand because they think of business economists, who are actually they are the actual pseudoscientists. Like, the fact that business economists call themselves scientists is frankly an insult to the entire concept of economic sciences. But that's just my personal gripe. I have personal beef with them. It's thanks to them that when I introduce myself, like when I introduce what I do, I usually say, yeah, I do national economics or I do macroeconomics, instead of saying just economics, because, you know, that opens a certain image of a frat bro kind of person. When I'm actually less of a frat bro guy, I'm more of a self-absorbed individual, you know? Think of a French person, that's what I'm trying to act like. I've started going on this shift of going full European superiority complex mode within the past, I'd say, year. I've always been a bit of an elegant kind of person. I wear coats, I walk around with a scarf, I carry around umbrellas. I do have a knack for wine and the fancy. But in that sense, I fully embrace this identity. I mean, lately America hasn't exactly been a cool place, so why should we abide by their definition of what cool is? Chalons is in. Well, anyways, it's funny, this could be an elaborate bit. I could just be weaving a large tail. Which is also what fursuit creators do, they weave large tails. But no, I don't know, to some extent, if you think of it, a 0 viewer live stream that goes on for about an hour, with constant commentary and constant speaking, it's a bit of an art piece, is it not? You know? Like, if it was hung up in a museum, and you would watch it, as a sort of, from an abstract point of view, from a conceptual idea point of view. If this wasn't actually a live stream, but me recording and acting as if it was, would you even know? This could all be scripted. It could be. Or it could be seen by not a single person, which would frankly be a waste of paper, because the script I'm reading off of, I printed it out, so, you know. What a wonderful game this is. I also had an interesting feeling because today I was perusing Wikipedia, and I did find the Wikipedia page for the German elections that are happening tomorrow. And interestingly enough, there is a Wikipedia page for them. And I just think it's interesting, because if I ever read a Wikipedia page, usually it's about past events, you know, it's about things that have transpired. They're usually written from a point of view of hindsight. We know the effects that something has caused. We know the outcomes, but I don't know. It's structured the same as a usual election page, just that there's no results yet. And also, while I was reading through that, I saw this interesting link to a different Wikipedia page that was referring to the German political crisis of 2024, which is very strange to me, because at the end of the day, it's something I lived through. I remember that. And reading about the context, at this point, it's a few months past, but thinking about it analytically, scientifically, it's not something I think many people have done. Alright. I don't know why, but whenever I have to wait for the dust bunny things, or I think that it's worthwhile to wait, I do the little teabag thing. I never really knew. Does teabagging actually come from having to press the letter T to crouch? Or is it actually about tea bags? You know, putting your tea bags into someone's face. I don't know. Oh wait, my microphone could be off. Oh no, it isn't. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good. I just had to quickly check. Yeah, I did a quick mic check. I checked up on the person named Mike, who's tied up next to me, lying on the ground. They've been kidnapped. But alas, I mean, what are you to do? It's not like he can be free again. If I free him, he'll go to the police. And in that case, you know, even if I wanted him to be free, I couldn't let that happen, because I want to be free myself. You could say it's releasing him would be a Pareto inferior situation, because I'd be increasing his utility, you know, while decreasing my utility. So, you know, it's definitely a Pareto. It's not a Pareto improvement. What's up, Mr. Oshiro? What's up, my guy? I don't know why I went up first. I usually go middle first. I usually go to Middlesbrough first. Is that a real place? I mean, there definitely is a place in the UK named Middlesbrough. Like, I was gonna say, is that a real place? I mean, it definitely is a real place, but is there any reason for me to have heard of a place called Middlesbrough? I don't know. I guess I'm not knowledgeable enough on the world to know that much. I must peruse Google Maps more in order to learn more. Yo, he isn't here? What? Oh, what am I to do? There he is. I think it's interesting that half of the boxes look like... I didn't even know. Like, Ninja Shuriken? They look like they have rice cakes in them. I guess it's like a treadmill? I mean, I would assume that it's likely to be barrels on their side, maybe? I'm not sure, honestly. Like, what are these circle boxes? They are very strange. Yeah, but I always remove the boxes last. I usually do towels first. Mostly because I like having a platform here on this spot. But it's not needed, because I am very skilled at this video game. Because I've put a lot of hours into it. And the more you do something, the better you get at it. Is what you tell yourself when you're wasting your time. It's actually wrong, you know, you get worse the more time you spend doing something. It's called being blind to your mistakes. You ingrain the things you do incorrectly. You start assuming that the way you do it is correct. So you start practicing the incorrect way. And what if you wasted so much time? What if we wasted so much time doing the wrong thing? You wouldn't want that to be the case. As I said in the beginning of the stream, I'm feeling rather artistic today. I'm feeling a bit pretentious. Or maybe this is just a bit I'm putting on where I'm acting purposefully pretentious and not like I usually do. Very much could be. Alright, that's a huge mess done. I mean, this is a pretty good first run. I must say. What's up? Gotta be careful when I skip a cutscene. Don't want to accidentally kill myself. Which accidentally killing yourself is actually really easy in real life, because becoming complacent and living in a world that makes you placid, not happy, but placid, it leaves you trapped, you know? Isn't sitting in your bed every night scrolling some sort of short form content for 2 hours damaging your sleep cycle or making you wake up later, giving you less time in the day? Isn't that killing yourself to some extent? Okay, that one was too obvious. that one was too obviously me being pretentious. I gotta work on it. I feel like this bit has potential. I gotta go back to my surrealist roots. I think that's the reason I'm acting this way. Perhaps acknowledging this fact is part of the surrealist performance. Well then. Time for the Oshiro battle. It's crazy how much the muscle memory is ingrained in me at this point. Because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played Celeste in probably since... No, I played it like one time after my last Celeste permadeath stream. So I'm out of practice. But I guess it's kind of like riding a bike, you know? Once you learn to ride Oshiro's face, you never really forget it. You know, we call these things key coins, but if you think about it really, every coin is a key. Living in a capitalist society, it's currency that enables us to open new doors. The amount of currency you have determines what paths you can go. So in a way, all coins are key coins if you're pretentious and wanted to force a metaphor. Okay, I'm dead. I did get pretty far though. That was frankly impressive. I honestly can't believe that. That was really good. All right, let's try again. I think to really fully lean into it, I need to grab a sort of towel to dry off my hands with after each attempt. That would seem very, very high class, very self-important, self-indulgent, even. You can do this? I know I can. I've done all the parts of it individually. The problem is stringing them together. You know. It's kind of like writing a story, you know? You can write all the sentences individually, but the hard part is putting the sentences in a good order. That's how you write stories, you know? You write down 500 sentences and then you just order them. At least that's how I do it. The sentence first approach. It makes writing the sentences very interesting because you'll add some strange ones, you know, to spice up the story you'll create in the end. But lots of the sentences that you create are what I call aid sentences, or aids for short, which are just general utility sentences, you know. Things like, she walked down the hallway, or she was as beautiful as the moon, or he got spaghetti all over his shirt. You know, phrases that every book will contain, you know, one way or another, or are very easy to incorporate into a story. I do think that the posters in Forsaken, this is outside of the bit I'm doing. It's just a thought that came into my head. You know, the fact that I only noticed the meaning behind the Forsaken City posters this last year, it's a bit embarrassing, honestly. I mean, they're quite brunt in their messaging, you know. When all of the billboards, they say "man up," or they say, "Are you beach ready?" Or they talk about how little time you have. Frankly, it's an obvious allegory for Celeste's story. I just didn't connect the dots. Which is also why I couldn't hand in my homework that one time in 2nd grade. They gave us a little puzzle where you had to connect the dots, you know. The numbers. It's paint by numbers is, I think, what you call it in English. And I didn't do the homework, so you could say that I couldn't connect the dots properly. You actually don't know this, but I'm actually in a Discord call with no one right now. But that would honestly be really funny, you know? I just put myself in a locked Discord channel on my server while I stream. No one can enter, it's just me talking to myself. That would be rather interesting, would it not? Alright. Let's actually make some progress, though. At some points during this, you know, strange extravaganza. It's a very strange live broadcast. It's definitely one of my most surreal experiences. I do wonder whether this phrasing, this act I'm putting on, is really just a cope, you know? Am I, the crying Wojak, putting on the smiley face, the stoic face for the stream? Am I in reality, am I upset about the fact that there's no one in chat? In earnest, perhaps I am putting on an act to calm myself down. Maybe my ego hinges on this. Who knows? This is such a strange bit. Or is it? Gotta keep up the plausible deniability. I do think the phrase plausible deniability is quite fancy for how often it is used, you know? I think most people who say the phrase plausible deniability, they wouldn't use the word plausible in another context. They'd probably say it's likely. Such low-class people. Likely. Or when people say probable. Yeah, you were thinking of the word probably, and then you said, oh, what's the noun version of this? Fuck you. Oh well. This painting is quite beautiful. I wonder what the little spot on the mountain is, like the square. Like, I understand that the building in front of the mountain is the hotel, but I wonder what the square is referring to. Is it perhaps the heart of the mountain? You know, chapter 8. What is chapter 8 of your story, though? Now, if you were a character in a story, if you were a written character in a book, in a story, how would you divide the chapters? External events, internal shiftings. I think it would prove to be rather difficult, you know. Simply considering the fact that all change seems to happen gradually to us. Every day it seems that nothing changes, but when you look back, it's like you're not even the same person. The only thing connecting younger you to you is the continuity. It might even be liberating a little bit. When I hear people talk about what, you know, would 14-year-old me be proud of myself? It seems like an interesting idea, and honestly, perhaps even a noble goal. Would the younger version of me be happy with the life I'm leading? But in reality, it is a completely meaningless question. Does the opinion of an 8-year-old truly matter about your life? Is it maybe trying to mask your personal insecurity about the quality of your life? It always perplexed me a little bit when people talked about this. Okay, I'm going into the middle path again because I like popping out the top path and then immediately talking to Oshiro. Last time I made up a lie about me enjoying the towel being there in one of the rooms, but in reality, I really just... Actually, not the towels, the books. Actually, I do like these books. They are quite helpful. And I really do like these books, which is why I usually don't do towels before I do books. Why I usually do towels before I do books. Which is also what I do in real life. You know, you can't read a book while being completely sweaty, grimy, and disgusting. You know. I think enjoying a proper piece of literature requires some sort of cleanliness. But perhaps that is just my own assertion. Just saying big words for no reason. It feels very satisfying. It feels thrilling. And perhaps you even feel enthralled about this live stream. I mean, if you can be enthralled into something, does that mean you can be dethralled? I think the closest concept that I could think about this is sort of a scene in a movie completely taking you out of the atmosphere. I forget the word for it, which is quite ironic considering the facade I'm putting on today. As the all-knowing person who gives all the best advice and is completely confident in his own qualities, but deep down is completely unsure about themselves. If you didn't understand, that is the character I'm trying to act like today. Witness their slow descent into madness. Watch the Mycromator stream. Alrighty, that's boxes done. Dude, there's some bottles on here. I wonder. I mean, it does look like a bottle of wine. Madeline is a confirmed alcoholic. It would be rather interesting to have a scene in this game where Madeline gets absolutely drunk. I was thinking of a very formal sounding word for getting drunk. You know, I guess you could be inebriated. You could get intoxicated. But being intoxicated is... It simply describes a different state of being than getting hammered. If you understand what I mean by that. Well, regardless, we managed to make it to the demo dash area once again. Which, if we can clear the next room, which we will, and the room after that, we will be able to do the Oshiro fight again, and this time actually succeed. Because I actually don't know why I failed last time. Frankly, it was a bit embarrassing. Dying in the crystal dash room, really? That one is so easy if you use your brain, which I did not apparently do. Which is very atypical of me, considering I am such a brainiac, such a smart individual, such a cultured fellow. Okay. More wine. Do you think Mr. Oshiro brought the bottle of wine to the presidential suite? Or do you think it was just lying around there and it hasn't been cleaned in so long? It would be interesting, because the cork is still in the bottle. So, you know, if the hotel has been dilapidated for 20 years and it hasn't been fixed, and this bottle of wine has been standing on the presidential suite's desk, or rather a table, for 20 years, that would be quite the rarity, quite the exquisite, quite the exclusive bottle of wine, really. I mean, thinking about it, just from a concept, imagine buying a bottle of 2005 vintage, or just finding it lying around in your hotel room. Well, thinking about it further, I guess it's not that impressive. I mean, it is the presidential suite after all, so you would expect to see some higher quality fine wine. Perhaps even an older vintage. I take back everything I've said about it being strange. The only thing strange is me. Alright. Dash into me, big boy. Or, as I probably should have said, charge into me, large fellow. Well, that's the third chapter done. That's the third chapter complete. What is interesting about this sort of system of chapters, or a system of chapters in a book or in a movie, or anything for that matter, is the fact that you can revisit them. Earlier, when I was talking about chapters in your life, the big difference between the chapters in a book and the chapters in your life, which also kind of make a separation difficult, is that you can't exactly go back. Time moves forward linearly, and you cannot stop it. You cannot reverse it. You cannot speed it up. You cannot slow it down. At least, not intentionally or for a long time. You could say time flies when you have fun. But staring at your wall, sure, at first the time is going to pass really slowly. But later on, you look back and you feel like no time has passed at all. Which is very interesting. Because the time flies when you're having fun. But looking back on it, it seems as though it was a very long period of time. If you spend a day out in Disney World and you spend a day just staring at a wall, the day staring at a wall is going to seem much shorter in hindsight, simply because there is less to recall. You'll be able to pinpoint the differences in time for the Disney World visit. The only way that you could even tell the passage of time while looking at the wall would be, I guess, if there is a window, the organic light changing. Or if you're staring at the wall for a really long time, perhaps some weathering appearing. Though at that point, I think you have much more to worry about than how much time has passed. I think at that point, if you've been staring at a wall for that long, it must be some sort of extreme performance art. Well, anyways, did this character that I'm building of just a completely pretentious guy, fully interested in all kinds of weird artistic ideas, constantly referring everything back to philosophy. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like method acting if you think about it. But perhaps, just maybe, this is what I'm like when I'm not streaming. Perhaps the normal stream Mycromator is the character. Where, if you really think about it, we're all playing characters. A social performance. I don't know if I should keep this bit going. I don't know. It's on one hand, it's really fun. On the other hand, I feel like I'm the only person in the world who finds this funny. Alright. I mean, yes, chapter 4 run is pretty good, though. This room's really fun. The way the wind is timed, where if you instantly start moving, it stops at the perfect moment. It's just really nice. Just feels very good. You could say it's magnifique, extraordinaire. You know, that's me trying to cling on to memories of funny stories. I don't know. I don't feel as though I have many funny stories to tell lately. My trip across Europe last year really, you know, it generated so many funny stories at this point. I feel as though the expectation will never be matched. Like, no story I could tell really would be as funny as me meeting that one French person who kept listing countries and calling them trash, or saying they were magnifique, extraordinaire. And the 6-year-old man who kept coming up to us. Nothing beats that. I really wish that I could meet this person again. I mean, if I ever do visit Paris again, I'll definitely visit the same pub that I was in last time. Just to have a chance to catch another glimpse at this person. Which, you know, considering that they very much seemed like an alcoholic, and they did say that they are there every day, which I honestly believe them. I think the chances that I see them again are very good. Though I do think the chances of them remembering me is very low. Alright, we made it to chapter 5. Man, honestly, I've been really playing well lately. Like, I think that's why I kind of kept going on the Celeste permadeath grind. I think that's why I did so many streams of it before my big break. Just because thanks to the fact that many of my runs make it to chapter 4 or chapter 5 or the end of chapter 3, it makes for a much more interesting watch. There's many runs you can actually get invested in. Though I guess since you're kind of moving the goalpost of what is extraordinary, it's a bit different, you know? When you usually die in chapter 3, then getting past Oshiro is an extraordinary moment. But when you regularly get past chapter 3 and go to chapter 4, then suddenly, you know, the expectation is that you'll make it to chapter 5, and that is supposed to be an extraordinary moment. And at this point, I feel nothing. I enter the Mirror Temple, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. Your expectations anchor the way you react to different situations. Which is not a ridiculous claim to make. It's just that if you put it into a lot of fancy terminology and act as if you're uncovering some sort of secretive psychological theorem, you can make it seem much more important than it really is. People are afraid of seeming overly indulgent, overly self-important, or overly philosophical. I think when people mention anti-intellectualism, it isn't actually about trying to ban scientific literature, or even just saying, you know, I don't believe what they're saying. I think that's not what anti-intellectualism is at its core. I think to me, anti-intellectualism is about being afraid of being perceived as someone who tries too hard. This nonchalance that I was talking about earlier. You know, the coolest person is the person who doesn't give a fuck. The person who doesn't care. And I think really caring about things is kind of makes you more interesting, makes life more interesting. You know, think about the best artists you know, and the art they create. I think many of them will be very self-absorbed, you know. They'll be able to explain the minutiae of the art. I think what I think about is just back when art was going through, you know, visual art was going through an interesting period in the 20th century, with Impressionism and Expressionism becoming more important. You hear back on these debates of people saying, oh, art should depict your perception of reality and not reality itself. And I think about how if you were trying to have this conversation today, you'd be perceived as such a self-absorbed asshole. Like, dude, holy shit, this is so pretentious. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe being pretentious is bad. It probably is. But I think we may have overcorrected. And unfortunately, I did lose there. It's kind of sad. I mean, I did pretty well. I had a pretty deep run. But you know, what can you do? I never really looked at these trees. The pixel art is very crude. You know, it's very different to the precise pixel art of the foreground terrain. Man, whenever I see the level select screen and I see like the very low poly 3D they use to depict the world, you know, the level select world. I kind of think about how much I really would want a game that looked like that. You know, it's a sort of N64-esque aesthetic, you know. Not Mario 64, think more like Space Station Silicon Valley. This is the run? You think so? It might be. I say Space Station Silicon Valley as if anyone knows that game except for people who watched that one Cybershell video. I'm beating the game this run. I mean, I got to chapter 5 last time. Like, I died to like a seeker. It is possible. I mean, there's a chance. And I think the likelihood is, I don't know. I feel like it might be within reach. It's definitely above 1%. It's definitely like 2 or 3%. That's a pretty damn good. That's a pretty damn good odds, you know. Imagine farming for a 3% drop in Terraria. Yeah, it's very funny. Welcome home, by the way, cute OAP. Welcome home. You missed it, but the first part of the stream, how often do I clean my glasses? When they seem dirty, I clean them. So probably about like every two days, maybe 2 or 3 days. It's something you don't think. It's not something you regularly do. It's something you do when you're like, oh, it seems like my glasses are a bit dirty. Oh man. No, honestly, I found it very interesting to see your status because I'm reminded of myself at some point because when I was like really young, I had a different pair of glasses. My glasses were very circular. I had, you know, very Harry Potter-esque glasses. And then all of a sudden, at some point, I got different ones. I got ones that were very square. And I don't know. I looked at myself in the mirror and I saw a completely different person, you know? It seemed as though like my whole character was different. I'm not the same that I used to be. But you get used to it rather quickly, and looking back, you know, the square glasses definitely look much better than the circular ones. You've never played? It's a very good game. It's also very hard. And I'm not very hard right now, actually. I was gonna say I'm very hard, but I'm actually not. Oh my god, that was quite scary. It's crazy how much glasses change someone's look. Yeah, for the better. I don't know, something in my brain activates chemicals when I see people wear glasses. I don't know. I just think people with glasses look better. Everyone looks better with a pair of those glasses on their face. You just look smarter, classier, hotter. You can see. It's kind of funny for the. This is a very strange conundrum I find myself in. So, for the first part of the stream, while there was no one in chat, I put on this bit where I was like a really pretentious person. I was talking about deeply philosophical ideas, you know, analyzing everything from like an analytical viewpoint, as if I was writing a paper. But I kept up the bit for so long that I feel like the character keeps crawling back into me. It's like Venom taking me over again, you know? You've been getting used to your glasses, though. You no longer look French now that your hair is sorted out with them. Unfortunate. I'm kidding. Ah, man. I'm gonna go to France again this year, and I don't know why I do that to myself. Actually, I do know why I'm doing that to myself. If anyone's coming to the European Youth event by the European Union, that's happening on like June 10th or 11th in Strasbourg, then I'll be there. You'll be able to meet me there. I guess. I'll be going into like the parliament, and I'll be meeting with the politicians, and I'll be listening to a bunch of presentations. It's really cool, actually. I mean, if you don't know about it, I mean, actually, I'm not even sure if registration's over yet. Do you think I have chances of walking over there, yay or nay? It depends, it depends. If you're by any chance located in southwestern Germany, you know, eastern France, perhaps Belgium, maybe. If you're still in Poland, it'll be a bit difficult. I also think if you're not registered online, they definitely won't let you into the parliament. There was like a registration you could do. I think it actually ended today. And they randomly select people who signed up. It's kind of cool. You know, maybe I'll meet some politicians I recognize. It would be kind of funny. What if I bike? I mean, you can bike anywhere in Europe, really. Like, if you're committed to it, you really could. I'm not saying you could do it in one day, which, you know, you probably couldn't, but if you plan in like 3 hotel stops, or maybe even just take camping gear, I feel like you could cycle, you know, to many places. It'll just take a while. Like, you could easily do 100 kilometers in a day. Like, you definitely could. So think about that, you know. Prague is 300 kilometers away from me, approximately. So, you know, like, I could bike to Prague in 3 days from where I am. I guess it doesn't tell you anything because you don't know where I am, but, you know, I'm in one country and I could just go to another country's capital city. I mean, I'm going to Strasbourg for free because Germany ticket's pretty sick. You know, I buy it every month to go to university, and all the buses and trains are free. It's just really cool. I guess they're not free if you're paying. It's like a monthly subscription to public infrastructure. You know, I pay 40 euros a month to use all public transport. It's pretty nice. Frog-like goat story? What do you mean? Is there some sort of story I forgot to tell you? Man. I actually haven't tried eating frogs yet. Perhaps when I'm in Strasbourg, I must try frog legs somewhere. Oh, Ghost Story 1 is in Prague. Oh, I see. It's in Prague. That's not how you spell Prague. I didn't even recognize what you were trying to say. Prague. It's kind of funny. I guess so. I haven't played Goat Story. I only know Goat Simulator. Potato, for sure. You know what would be really funny? If I read your message as potato, and it just seemed like you're being really stupid. Like, this guy's just saying potato twice. Like, what does he mean? No, not Mprog. I don't know, whenever I think about the concept of Mpreg existing, like, in literature, you know, literature, very, very liberal use of that word, I mean, smut, I think about the one post where a woman was talking about how she got so... Yeah, she was gooning to so much Mpreg stories that she googled female Mpreg, which is just really funny. That's a really funny thing to happen to a person. Yeah, no, that's what you were going for. Oh, yeah, I see. No, that's what I was going for, yeah. Never considered a woman being into that. That's kind of crazy, actually. Dude, women are the same level of weird gooners that men are. It's just that they read books, so it doesn't seem as strange. I need to be less close-minded. Yeah. It truly is crazy. I think I recently read an article about it, but like so much of like literature that's being written at any moment is just simply pornography aimed at women. If only there was a word for less close-minded. Yeah. But alas, there's no such word. Oh well. Actually, also you were wrong. It wasn't the run. I don't even remember where I died. Honestly, my random access memory just kind of deleted it. You know. Oh yeah, now I remember. I accidentally killed myself while talking to Oshiro. You know what happened there really is, you know when you're talking to someone and you feel like you feel that you chose the wrong dialogue option. You know. That's what happened to Madeline there, you know? She was going to Mr. Oshiro and she was like, "What's up?" instead of being hello, you know, because it's supposed to be formal. And she started looking at her weirdly and she instantly popped the cyanide pill she keeps under her tongue. Like a fucking secret agent, like a spy. You've been getting into reading recently, you've gone down to like the 20th letter. That's pretty impressive. I must say, the last 7, they're quite tricky. They're quite a tricky bunch. I mean, in German, there's 4 additional ones, but they're really weird. They're the really weird ones. You know, you got the A putting on a costume with 2 dots. Oh, and all of a sudden we're supposed to call you A, right? It's very interesting. I feel like more foreigners know the word umlaut than Germans, because German people don't call the letter an A umlaut. They call it an A. Like, how do you spell that word? And you would answer with an A. In Polish, you got that. I think it's O. No, I can't. I know one of them is je. And probably one of them is z. Is what I would assume. I think je and z definitely have some. And the vowels. Like, I could probably pronounce all the vowels, but I don't think that I can tell them simply from the letter. And the T-looking one is likely a consonant, though I don't know what kind. In Germany we have the sharp S, which I'm a big fan of, because, you know, what the fuck is a sharp S? Oh, it's U. Interesting. When I say interesting like that, I have to think of another video, where it's a guy on live stream, and he just like shits himself completely. Like you can hear him do a little fart, and then it suddenly just turns extremely wet. And he says, "Yo chat, I'm being for real. I just shit myself for real. I'm gonna put on a video and change my underwear." And he gets like all red in his face, and he puts on a video. The video starts. He shits again, and he just says, "Interesting." He just says completely straight. It's like, "Interesting." So whenever I say interesting, I just think of that fucking video. It's like he must have obviously gotten sick or something, but just like completely and utterly browning yourself live on stream and trying to play it off nonchalantly is just very funny. You're gonna make fun of me for this in the beginning, but that's actually incredibly funny. Like, it is! I love that clip. Something like that would never come up on purpose, you know? I feel like you only get such comedy organically, you know? From a person trying to play it cool while, like, absolutely just liquidating their pants. Dung dung. Okay, I feel like I've slowly shaken off the arrogant, thinking, you know, the arrogant, skeptic philosopher kind of character I was playing at the beginning. I feel like I'm definitely becoming more normal again. playing it off with interesting after producing waste is so crazy. Interesting. I mean, it's not even like he was playing it off. Like, he instantly admitted that he just shat himself for real. It's just, it's very funny. It's a very funny situation to find yourself in. God, this reminds me of the ghost video. I know the one you mean. You know, the one where where he farts on his roommate's door. And the narrator asks, "Did you see that?" That's another classic. But I feel like I'm missing a lot of the big, new, important, funny videos simply because I'm not on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. I'm like an old man. I watch videos when they're like interesting and they're long. Do you think he was holding it in for that moment? I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I feel like if you've completely browned yourself, I mean, is there much incentive to keep yourself from shitting more? like your pants are already completely ruined. You're not playing it off on stream either. Like at that point, there's no reason to hold back. I think honestly, what I'm missing, I only know that one clip. I don't know how it keeps going after that. But I really hope he didn't turn off his webcam before going to the toilet. Because if it's just a shot of him standing up to walk to the door and his ass is just completely brown, that would be so funny. Shout out to the video where someone drops a glass that shatters to cover up the fart, and it's not even close. yeah, I know that video. It's very good. Brandon, what the fuck? We still don't know what Brandon was up to. We still don't know. Chapter 3 of Celeste. I mean, it's quite doable once you practice it for a long time and you play permadeath, so you had higher stakes, making you actually have to study all the patterns and the strategies to beat each room. I don't know why, but I just thought of the phrase doing something for shits and giggles. And honestly, I don't want to do anything for shits and giggles. It evokes an image that I did not want to see. In German, when that happens, you say Kopfkino. It's a very good word, which means head cinema. So when someone talks about, I don't know, two ugly people having sex and like you unintentionally imagine it and it's disgusting, you say, "Oh, the Kopfkino." Imagine going to the restroom and someone is ripping ass while giggling devilishly. Okay, that was cringe, I'm sorry. Dude, that was really cringe. Okay. We move on. We move. I'll take this opportunity to grow as a person. Which honestly, I need that. I'm not very tall. It's not like I'm really short or anything, but I'm also just not very tall. Right, as someone joined the stream? No. Someone joined the stream while I was posting cringe. Dude, I'm gonna lose subscriber. Well, I mean, I'm doing that anyways. How many subscribers am I at right now? I'm actually curious. I am at 213. That's -2 in the last 30 days. Very good, very good. Keep at this rate. At this rate, I'll have 0 subscribers within 100 months. So in about 2 years, I'll have 0 subscribers. Is the ASMR channel logging it? It was at some point, but Celeste permadeath, like there were a few Celeste permadeath streams where I got like a lot of viewers, if you recall that. I had like 14 viewer live streams, at some point even 20. And I got a bunch of subscribers from that, so that kind of evened it out. But I haven't checked on the ASMR channel in a while. I haven't checked on it, haven't posted on it, you know. What the hell, damn. Yeah, and then suddenly no one watched anymore. From just one day to the next, it was kind of crazy. But that's how your algorithm goes. But I'm honestly not focused on numbers anymore. I guess I was a little bit at some point, especially when I was on Twitch. When I was on Twitch, I was doing everything to maximize numbers, but I guess I was trying to make it big at that point. I mean, I feel like at this point I really don't care about making it big. I'm just doing this because it's fun. Like the first 40 minutes of the stream, I was just talking to myself in a really pretentious way. And I don't know, I guess it's only fun to me to do that, but you know. What a wholesome story, I think. Yeah, you know, becoming complacent with failure, you know, not striving for anything greater anymore. Accepting that you as a person will never be able to achieve the success you coveted previously. But it's a wholesome story because you managed to be okay with it, I guess. That was a little bit of the pretentious hyper-analysis from the beginning of the stream coming out of me again. Maybe he is me. Or maybe he's actually like the fucking Venom taking over my mind every few minutes. It's kind of funny. Alright, anyways. Sorry, that wasn't funny. Damn. Well, that's okay. I don't care. It's not like I care. It's not like I care about being funny. You know, it's not. I actually don't. You know, I do these things for myself. I do have top chat. Oh, I do. Oh, I thought you were talking about. Oh wait. I switched to live chat. There's nothing new here. But did you actually just troll me? Yeah, you fucking just Omega trolled me. That's crazy. That was well executed. That was well executed. Which is what I would say if I was a king, and I watched a beheading, and the head, like, it got separated perfectly from the spinal cord. Like, there's, like, a clean cut. Like, the spinal cord is, like, circular. You really hit the vein where lots of blood comes pouring out. That's what I would say. That's great execution. Ooh, I just posted cringe. I'm gonna lose subscriber. Well, let's try again. The word naked blacklisted from YouTube? Damn. Really? I mean, you just said naked, so it clearly isn't. I also have no filters on my chat, so it's very strange that I didn't see the message, but okay. You can do this. I can, yeah. Yeah, I definitely can. You got like 4 other messages erased because of it, so that's very strange. Actually, no, I do. Wait, no, I do have one word banned. Like, one word gets you auto banned. I think you can guess what that word is, but, you know. It's not a very nice word. It's not a word anyone would use. Anyways, as I originally just... I originally just asked you to get unclothed. Oh. I mean... I appreciate the invitation and also the flattering suggestion, but... Alas, I must decline your proposition. Man, I love using big words. I love speaking eloquently. I love using large lexica. Now it doesn't make sense because a lexicon is a dictionary, so like a large and I guess it kind of makes sense. You like playing with crayons? Really? Honestly, I feel like I really haven't used a crayon since 2nd grade. I remember back in 1st grade, there was this really fun thing we did, where for every letter of the alphabet we learned, we had to like write the letter like. So we got a little piece. It's like an A5 piece of paper, so it's not very big. It's like this. You had to like take a red one and write the letter, and then you draw around the letter, and so you make a drawing out of the letter. And then you collect them, and then eventually you'll have all 27 done. And you have a little nice picture about all of them. And in your picture, we were supposed to include like as many words as possible that start with that letter. So kind of cool. That's a 1st grade memory right there. That's 1st grade Mycromator. Man, elementary school was weird. It honestly wasn't. I just had a bunch of... I had like one teacher. He was a bit of a character. And his characterness definitely rubbed off on me. Like I'm definitely definitely picked up many of his characteristics. Oh no. Oh my god, that's awesome actually. Yeah, my audio just broke. Just give me a second. Okay, I fixed it. There's something that broke on my like aux port on my PC, and now I just need to punch it, and it works again. You had a teacher swear as a kid when you were in preschool? Oh yeah, the guy I'm talking about, he didn't care much. He said a bunch of strange things. Like one time he was talking about how if you're in a race and you get second, you're not gonna get mentioned in a news article. And the moral of the story, why he told us this, is he taught us the phrase, second is the first loser. Which is a fucking crazy thing to teach, like, elementary school kids. Like, he really taught us to... That doesn't seem like the truth. I mean, definitely is the truth. Like, if you're in the Olympics... and you get first place, you're gonna get so much more acknowledgement than second place, you know? No one's gonna be publishing a news article about second place. But anyways, second is the first loser, so always strive for excellence. Oh man, what a guy, what a guy. And the second thing I recall is when there was like an election. So if I get last place, I'm the last person to lose. I guess so, yeah. You're the worst at losing. No, actually you're the best at losing because you lost the most. Because it simply says that he's the first loser, not that he's first place at losing. So, you know. And so what were they saying? Oh yeah, there were like elections happening, just like tomorrow. Boy, am I excited to see what the election results of tomorrow's federal elections in the Federal Republic of Germany will be. I'm going to go out into an elementary school that's near my house and cast my vote, because that's where the polling station is. It's not the elementary school I went to, though, when I was small. Bro got so sidetracked, I did. Anyways, elections were happening, and he was explaining to us what democracy was, just like as a concept. So he wrote down a bunch of parties that existed in the German parliament at that point, or like that were electorally relevant in German politics. And it's just very interesting because one of the parties he talked about was the Pirates Party, Die Piraten, which is, their legacy is so strange to me because at some point they actually got into the parliament. And they also polled at like 10% at some point. The fucking Pirate Party. They were literally called the Pirates. This is crazy to me. They were mostly focused on freedom of the internet. I don't know why they were so huge in the 2000s and 2010s. That's a sick ass name. Sure, I'd vote. Why not? Yeah. The names of the German parties are a bit weak. Though I also do like one of our parties. It's called Die Linke, which just translates to the left. So you can vote for the left party. It's just called the left. We have piss. That's cool, right? I mean, I guess it's kind of fitting because they fucking suck, but you know. What else do we have? And we got the Green Party. Yeah. The Free Democratic Party of Germany, which is just a bunch of neoliberals who are fucking awful and collapsed the German government and caused us 4 years of complete government incompetence that's gonna lead to us having a right shift in our country. Just simply because this 5% electoral party got way too greedy. You wish there was a Gleek party? Yeah. Sorry, I just had to quickly vent my hate against the FDP. I really hope they don't make it into the parliament this time. It'd be very sweet, you know. I'd pop a bottle of champagne for that. I guess our right party isn't bad. Like, Alternative for Germany is kind of a good name. Because they're an alternative party, you know, alt-right. Better than the French, because the French is just called Rassemblement National, which translates to National Assembly, or like National Group, which is just a bit boring. I do think the Italians probably have the best name for their far-right party. I really do like the Fratelli d'Italia, the Brothers of Italy. Because it just seems so fascist. Like, I don't know, the Brothers of Italy. Like, Brotherhood, National Brotherhood, I don't know. It's kind of funny to me. Mario? Yeah. That's what they're all about. They're about uniting Mario and Luigi. And denying immigrants access to Europe, but, you know. At this point, who in Europe isn't trying to deny access to immigrants? It can barely find any relevant political players, but I don't want to get... Do I want to have... I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about German politics, but I'm not sure that people want to hear them. I don't get why people don't like immigrants. I also don't really understand. I mean, I guess it's just... Well, here's the thing. Germany failed in integrating them, so we brought in a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds from a region which has far less liberal views than ours, who are traumatized by civil war and poverty, never got integrated into the new society, that's completely different to the one they came from. barely get any perspective for the future because they're stuck in endless court proceedings of whether or not they're allowed to stay, which means they can't take up work, can't really learn the language because there's not enough language schools here. So they start acting violent or building parallel societies. Which, of course, isn't the fault of the migrants, but right now we're seeing the externalities. There was like during this election cycle, there was like a total of 4 different, like, so quote unquote terrorist attacks. I think even 5 terrorist attacks by migrants. So, like, I understand why people. Okay, the people are wrong in assigning the fault to immigrants. They're wrong to assign the fault to them. But I can see how they got to that point. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's still wrong. You know, immigrants aren't more violent than native residents. That's been disproven. It's basically black people crime statistics, but in Europe. You wish the government did something useful like banning mosquito bites. That would be very expensive and very difficult. And also it would kill the frog population. You don't want to go, you don't want the frog population to go. I actually don't know the Polish word for frog. Knowing Polish, it's probably another fucking awesome word, dude. You've got such bangers like bober. Bober is fucking awesome. Or ślimiaka? Dude, those are some strong contenders, man. There's some like when I see a snail, like yeah, that's the ślimiaka. Yeah. Dude, we have an entire store brand named after a frog. I've been to Poland like twice in my life. I don't know any store brands. Zapka. Or is it Żabka? Probably Żabka. I can't believe I died to that. I really wasn't paying attention. I think, yeah, I was thinking about German animal names just now. And I really enjoy the fact that for foreigners, the English word squirrel is very difficult to pronounce. And for foreigners in Germany, the German word for squirrel is also really hard to pronounce. It's Eichhörnchen. And people learning German really struggle to pronounce Eichhörnchen. I don't know why. I mean, it's so easy to say Eichhörnchen. Just Eichhörnchen. Like, what's the problem? Just say it. Oh, man. Yeah. How does a person even make that sound? You're saying, you literally speak Polish, dude. Like, don't go throwing rocks in glass houses, man. Oh, how do people even pronounce that, dude? You. Oh yeah, by the way, my name is. There's 15 consonants in the name and like one letter A. You know what the rocks, glass houses thing? You know what? Wait. You know what the rocks, glass houses thing means? But why is it like that? Wait. I mean, it's quite obvious. Like if you throw a rock in a glass house, you're gonna like damage the wall. So, you're attacking someone, while yourself being vulnerable to the thing you're attacking them with. I mean, maybe this isn't even like a metaphor that exists in English. My brain might have just translated a German metaphor into English and just assumed that, yeah, that sounds legit, that sounds like something people say. You never thought about throwing it through the glass? Ah, you've heard it. Okay, okay. I'm not gaslighting myself. I don't know why, but talking about glass shattering made me think about my economics teacher in high school who um who talked about how he got like a really expensive glass pane installed on his like terrace, and that he made like he has an insurance policy just for like the glass door leading to his terrace, and that like his neighbors were making fun of him for it, but then one of the kids, like a kid outside, shot like his kid, to be fair, shot a football and it accidentally hit the glass door and it shattered, and he was like, "Oh, it's no big deal. I have a specific insurance policy just for my glass terrace door." And he was basically flexing to us about how this was a very smart insurance policy to purchase. Oh man, what a guy. Am I a David or an Edwin kind of guy? I don't know what you're referring to here. But I'd probably have to say that Edwin is probably the better name. You know, David is too boring. By the way, welcome home, Catan boy. Or Setan boy. I did see you, but I was starting to tell a story about my economics teacher in high school. And you need to finish that story first. That's why you're my goat. Fuck David. I wouldn't go that far. I don't know what David did. I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic. David is a very Jewish name. David got run over by a car. Man, that's not good. It's not a good thing. Or maybe it's a good thing. Maybe David was an asshole. You know, perhaps like, I don't know, the Grand Wizard of the KKK was named David. I don't know. I have no money in this game. David got run over by a car. He was a greedy little bitch. He asked for ice cream thrice. Honestly, man, this increasingly sounds like David is a guy you know. And Edwin is a guy you know. And David got run over by a car. And you're trying to defend your friend Edwin. This sounds like these are real people you know in real life. No, but the asking for ice cream multiple times thing. David is Edwin's son. Dude, that's crazy. This reminds me of a video where it's like a really rich guy in a high-end restaurant. He's sitting there talking to some people and he says, "So, you know, I was at my apartment and the air conditioning, I was adjusting it a little bit. I had to change something. And then I accidentally unscrewed something and it just fell out of the window, yeah. And it hit two people walking by, just clean dead. And like the people sitting across from them are like, oh wow, that's crazy. Were they okay? He was like, no, they were killed instantly. And he starts saying, but who walks under an air conditioning unit? And then it's like, so you're saying it's their fault? It's like, yeah. Dude, I love the way he says yeah in that video. It's like, so you're saying it's their fault? Yeah. Yeah. Let's go with that. Oh, man. I really hope I grow up to be a psychopath. I mean, I can start working on that right now. Just, I don't know, watching videos of people dying a lot and then getting desensitized to it. It's a good start. I could also like develop ideologies that, you know, are non-empathetic, you know. That explains a lot. That I want to be a psychopath when I grow up. What does it explain, QWP? Are you being reminded of John Bovey? Because he wanted to be the same thing when he grew up, and he was very successful. John Bovey always wanted to be a psychopath, and then when he was famous and world-renowned, I mean, he was a psychopath. He used his abilities. Don't worry about it, just know a guy. Okay. And the guy's name is David and Edwin, right? Dude, it's crazy. You were in a VC with a friend of yours and you started talking about fucking John Bovey. What do you mean you started talking about John Bovey? I think you might be thinking he started talking about Bon Jovi. You know? Like the actual musical artist that exists and wrote songs. I don't know if he was talking about John Bovey. That would be very funny if he was. I thought you made John Bovey up originally. Oh, you thought I made the name up. No, I did not actually make the name up. What actually happened is, I made a joke, and it wasn't very funny, but I managed to turn the joke around by investing way too deep into it. And when Spooky started playing along, that's when it really escalated. Dude, John Bowie was so fucking awesome, man. Also, that was my Discord ping. Man, my eye is so fucking itchy. This is getting weird. No, he kept fucking calling himself John Bovey. He just started referring to that guy as the John Bovey guy. What do you mean, the friend you were in VC with? He kept calling himself John Bovey? Why? What a random thing to happen. You must be the only person in the world who has had two separate people making like a way too invested joke about an individual named John Bovey. Oh man. Dude, John Bovey really There's a few contenders for best Mycromator stream moment of all time. John Bovey's definitely up there. Like, John Bovey was really awesome. I think what I also really enjoyed is one time I was playing Fall Guys with like 3 people in VC, and the fucking Majora's Mask Clocktown music was playing. Like the fucking Majora's Mask Clocktown music was playing, and I was getting increasingly insane. That was also really awesome. And that one Fall Guys stream, I also remember that being very funny. You almost pissed yourself from laughing, you genuinely could not. We kept it up for so long too. I think that's what made it so funny, just for how long we kept it up. Oh man. Dude, I gotta find the VOD for that. I don't know if the VOD exists for it. Because Twitch might delete it. Twitch is about to delete a bunch of old Twitch VODs. Like half of the live streams I archived on Twitch, that I did, are gonna be Thanos snapped, you know? Starting on April something. Like, you can't access them, but I can, because I saved them all as a highlight that is unpublished. What is the goddamn thing with the haunted copy of Majora's Mask? It's a creepypasta from like 2006 or something. It's about Ben Drowned. But I think we were talking about Bend Over. Dude, it was fucking... Oh yeah, I kept telling the story about Ben Drowned. I kept explaining Ben Drowned. Oh, dude, that stream was so funny. I'm actually still in contact with Spooky, you know. Spooky really had a big laugh about the name of the company I'm working for. I would tell it to you, but I don't really want to tell you what company I work for. But yeah, we were talking again recently. Life has been weird for them. You got to wish Spooky a happy birthday. It was awesome. Wait. I didn't even know when their birthday is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we've ever talked about that. I should probably send another direct message. Ben drowned is such a crazy name, by the way. Tell me he drowned. He did. He did drown. That is what he did. February 12th. That's crazy. I know a person whose birthday is February 13th. And then February 14th is a completely ordinary day. That doesn't affect me at all. Man, I've been streaming for 1.5 hours. It's a good amount. Maybe it's time to stop eventually. I don't know. I kind of do enjoy just talking. You know, talking to someone rather than just talking to myself, if you know what I mean. And saying if you know what I mean as if I made a joke or something. I guess if I wasn't streaming, I would probably be playing Crypt of the Necrodancer. Or watching a YouTube video. You get it, TBH, TBH. I get it, TBH, honest. TBH. You know, I honestly get it. Am I interested in Rift of the Necrodancer? Not really, no. The only part I'm interested in for that game is, like, the little Rhythm Heaven-esque mini-games that are in there. But the fact that the main gameplay loop is like this Guitar Hero-esque, where you try to catch the 4 buttons that come your way. I don't know, I don't care about that style of gameplay. I wishlisted the game because I was hoping for it to be more in a different direction. Also, the one thing I'm noticing more and more with like Crypt of the Necrodancer and Rift of the Necrodancer, now that I'm replaying them, is, first of all, it's really cool how like the main characters are like all female. It's quite nice, very woke of them. But the second thing is, for some reason, all the official art makes them extremely, like, gives them massive ass and thighs or fat tits. Like, I don't know. Like, half the characters in the official art are just, like, so ridiculously shaped. I don't know why. Looking into this, I don't know. In the game, it doesn't look like it, but if you open the Steam page, even, like, that's not what Cadence looked like in any of the other art. I mean, on Steam when you're about to launch the game. Or, like, whenever I open the game and I see Suzu, that art is ridiculous. Or the person sat next to her, I don't even know their name, but, like, holy fuck, I don't know why they did that. Alright. I think I'm gonna do one more. This is the last one. Skip. Should message Spooky again. Lately, I've just been sending things to people that I haven't talked to in a while. I've been trying to talk to people again that I haven't, you know, interacted with in a bit. It's a good habit. It's a good habit. It's nice to let people know that you still think about them. Send them a meme or something. You're looking for it, but you can't find anything. That's okay. It's alright. But if you go in game and you select a character, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But oh well. Man, I completely forgot the feeling of grinding something out that's difficult with a novel challenge. Like, I used to do that a lot more, and now with Crypt of the Necrodancer I'm back to it, where I just grind the same difficult achievement for hours. And I can do it without a problem. Like, honestly, imagine you were watching another streamer do what I'm doing right now. Like, who else could get all the way to chapter 5, be in a run for like 26 minutes, die, have to reset, do so completely emotionlessly. I don't know how I managed to do this. Like, perhaps I am a psychopath. I don't know. Hatsune Miku isn't fucking... Yeah, they added Hatsune Miku. They added a bunch of anime characters as skins for Cadence. So, like, you don't have to play as Cadence anymore. You can play as that one girl from Danganronpa. Or plenty of other anime. I don't know why. I guess they were like, we need to expand our target audience to weebs. Think about all the popular rhythm games. Think about OS. Think about Toho. We gotta get in on this. Crypt of the Necrodancer is now anime. And you know what? It wasn't a bad idea, because one of my friends bought the game because they added Hatsune Miku. So it kind of works, I guess. You need to give Crypt of the Necrodancer another try at some point. And the problem with Crypt of the Necrodancer really is just the fact that you need to have good rhythm feel. You need to be good at rhythm, or else the game isn't fun at all. Because when you're good at rhythm, it feels like a turn-based roguelike game. Which is really satisfying. Like, not turn-based RPG, but like, you know, all the enemies move at the same time across the board. Originally, it actually wasn't intended as a rhythm game. It started off as just being a roguelike where you could move across, you know, where you move in steps, you know, and the enemies move at the same time, so it would have been a turn-based roguelike. But then they were like, in playtesting, they noticed that, you know, people were starting to just go along with the rhythm of the music that was playing in the background. So they said, oh, let's build our game around that, you know. So it's not a rhythm game first and foremost. That's hella cool. It is cool. The only problem is that I'll never get all the achievements, because one of the achievements is considered to be one of the hardest platinum trophies, like for PlayStation. It's platinum trophies. Or is it Xbox? It's considered to be one of the most difficult achievements to obtain, just in general. Like, not difficult in that it takes a long time, it's just really difficult. It's beating the game, it's beating all zones mode as Coda. So it's just beating the game as a certain character. You know, an all zones mode run takes like 30 minutes, you know, maybe like 25 probably, because you're skipping a lot of things. 22 minutes. So yeah, you know, there's nothing that carries over between runs. You just gotta get really good. The tempo is double. If you miss a beat, you die. You're stuck at half a heart. You can only use the dagger. You can't pick up money. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Honestly, the character wouldn't even be that bad if it wasn't double tempo. That's the biggest drawback. The fucking double tempo is what gets you. But most people who play the game, most people who have gotten a lot of the achievements probably have never even attempted this one. Because to unlock Coda, you need to beat one of the other hardest achievements in general. Beating all characters mode in Crypt of the Necrodancer. Which is what you need to do to unlock Coda. You might genuinely give the game a real try since once you're done with luck, be a landlord. You might. I got kind of sucked into it, which was kind of unfortunate because I did have to study for exams still. So what I did is I'd learn like a chapter, and then I'd play Necrodancer for like 15 minutes, and then I'd go back to studying. Man, it's crazy how much time in your life you spend writing exams. Like really, from first grade until getting your fucking master's degree. Just infinitely studying for exams. It's not that bad though. I get to use my whiteboard, and I love my whiteboard. I'm a big fan of my whiteboard. You just remember that the game felt like you were playing a lot but never really learning or improving at all, and the between run upgrades felt weird. Oh dude, oh my god. The between run upgrades really suck. I don't even, honestly, like with how I'm replaying the game, I don't engage with the between run upgrades at all, because if you play all zones mode, everything's unlocked. But here's the thing, it's way too difficult to beat an all zones run. You'll need to put in a lot of hours into the game until you beat your first all zones run. The only reason I managed to do it is because I played a lot beforehand. But yeah, I do agree, the progression is kind of weird. And the way you collect diamonds is a little bit dumb. But you know, yikes. Okay. Yeah, no, but right now I'm struggling with a character named Arya. Who has half a heart, dies when she misses a beat. And yeah, that's it. I can only use a dagger, but you know. At this point I've locked in so hard, I can do it eventually. I just need to keep throwing myself at the wall. I was thinking about streaming Crypt of the Necrodancer, but here's the thing, it's just not a very good game to stream because you need to focus on keeping the rhythm. Unless you get really good at keeping the rhythm, in which case you can stream it and it's very interesting to watch. Perhaps someday I will, but probably not. I mean, I'm technically doing something difficult right now too, but like I've practiced so much that I don't even feel like I have to lock in at all. Like I can really look at chat half the time. I feel like I really could do huge mess in my peripheral vision at this point. Practice really does make perfect in everything. Like sometimes when you're studying, you feel like you're going nowhere. Like no, it's not how it works. If you look at the material more often, you're gonna remember more of it. That's just how it works. Especially if you do active recall. Oh, man. Yeah. What's up, Mr. Oshiro? Hello. He's running away from me. He's scared of Madeline. And honestly, I would be too. I think Madeline is a dangerous individual. I think she could really hurt me. Madeline seems like the kind of person who would bite people. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But sure, let's go with it. Madeline seems like the kind of person who bites people. Now I'm picturing myself doing a fist fight against Madeline. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm imagining Madeline in a violent scenario. Why? What's wrong with me? We would never get into a fist fight with each other. I think we would be friends. I think we'd be chill with each other. Just the question marks. What is bro talking about? Okay, well that's it. Yeah, I guess I'm done for the day. Had my best run fairly early on, and with fairly early on, I mean the literal second attempt I did today. Where I got to chapter 5, like, middle of the seeker section. But, you know, I mean, I got to chapter 6 once, so that's what I'm gonna judge all my runs by. Yeah, so if you're still here, join the Discord server, I guess. Honestly, I should plug the Discord a lot more. I want the Discord server to be alive again. I sent a fucking awesome YouTube video in there that I think everyone should see. Well, anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Take care, and bye.